How's it going, everybody? Not sure we're going to be doing much scam baiting today because it's pretty slow, but I do have a pop-up I can work with. I want to thank everyone in YouTube for attending, Facebook and Twitch. How's it going, Akimbo Live and Egg in a Sack? I'm going to run a quick test with my multi-chat. I need to find something out, so bear with me while I run this quick test. I'm using... Why did that go to... I'm not in mute. Hold on, what are you doing? I'm using a... I use an iPhone-based Stream Deck, and it sometimes triggers the screen switching. I'm going to get a hardware Stream Deck here soon. What I'm testing is, as you can see on my screen, this is Restream's multi-chat option. It gives me the ability to chat to these different Facebook and Twitch. But if I go to Restream and type test, yeah, see, it doesn't show up in the Twitch chat. So to do a Twitch chat, I gotta click on Twitch and say, thanks for the support, like that. And then there it is there, I saw it appear. Meanwhile, if I go over to my Twitter to do, okay, hold on. I'm talking.
Mary, whoops.
This could be a scammer. I don't know where they're calling though. Oh, I know, hold on. Missed them. If I want to go to Twitch, or Twitter rather, thanks for the support, and then it should appear. Yeah. Okay, so that answered my question. Come on, dudes, call me back. What's wrong with you? Okay, I do have a pop-up. I'll show it to you. Hi there, I'm interested in your text department. Hold on. I'm gonna go on mute while I do this. I have no idea what they're... Hello? Hello?
Hello, is anyone there?
Yes, who's calling?
Yeah, my name is Josh. I'm calling about Help Me 2000.
For what?
May I know who am I talking to?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, I'm calling about Help Me 2000.
Why are you calling me about it?
Yeah, I saw the phone number on the webpage and I'd like to ask about the home office planner. I have some questions.
Okay. I'm not supporting any more customers. Where are you located?
I'm located in US.
No, you're not. We're in the
That's
U.S. We're in the U.S.
Yeah, my phone number shows US. I'm located in Europe, actually, in Greece.
But I can appear to be anywhere. I can be in Japan virtually. It's not. It's more
in
than
Greece,
that.
okay.
Where
Yeah,
in
I'm
the U.S.?
interested.
Where
I'm
in
in
the U.S.
Greece.
are you? You're in
Greece.
Greece.
Yes,
Okay, all right.
Greece. Did you do that?
Okay.
I'd like to ask the home office plan. How much time does it need to be activated?
I don't sell that anymore. I'm using my
I
regular
don't
voice.
tell it.
I'm using my regular voice. I'm going to take that phone number down because you guys keep calling me. Where are you located? Seriously.
I told you, sir.
What city?
In Athens.
In what?
In Athens.
Okay, I'm not going to support someone in Greece, Athens anyways. Why would I? Or Athens, Greece. Why would I give support to someone in another country? I don't have business licenses there. I mean, why would I do
Sherry,
that? I'm not against. I'm not against you. I'm not against you.
I found your website and I asked a question, sir.
Okay, well, have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Sorry about that. I have my Help Me 2000. I still get phone calls, but they've been calling. Scammers have been calling me to try to buy my support package, and I keep telling them I'm not. I sell it to someone in the U.S. I'm not going to sell it to somebody. I might help someone in the U.K. and Canada, but I'm not going to sit there and I just no. Anyways, this is the pop-up I have. It comes from my favorite scammers. They run an advertising page called a golden link, which always produces some type of ad. This thing is telling me that I have Norton. It's what you call scareware. Not available. It's just 30 days remaining on a subscription that I don't have. So I'm going to call them in a moment here. I wanted to run tests in my multi-chat. I'm going to be trying to grow a Twitch, my Twitch channel coming soon, because I really want to have a balance in my presence. Okay, guys. Let me give you my schedule of what's coming up. On the 18th, 19th, and 20th, I am taking off of work to devote my day to scam baiting. So I'm gonna post my schedule for those days. I'm gonna split between YouTube and Twitch. So I'll make sure you guys know where you can find me on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Then on December 2, 3, and 4, I'm doing the same thing, as well as December 9, 10, and 11. So I'm going to be doing a heavy amount of streaming on those 6 days, in addition to my regular streaming on Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be advertising it as well. So I've got some funds set aside for my YouTube revenue. I'm going to put up basically a live stream ad that will run during those days. As you can see, I'm starting to get some chat in my Twitch, so I really want to diversify if I can. Did you find what a scammer did the other day? I asked you if you thought he installed something on your PC. No, Peter, he didn't. He didn't install anything. When a scammer connects remotely to my virtual machine, when I'm done with the session, only rarely do I leave the machine in its current state. I'll often reset the virtual machine because I don't know what they've done to it. Akamo, I can't call somebody that doesn't exist. No one's running ads right now. But I do have the Norton tech support. I'll call them in a moment. Okay, so let's plan on that. Let me get my virtual machine loaded with the pop-up. I'm going to get my... Oh, hold on. Yep, my time's fine. So what I'm doing right now is I'm creating fake history. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting ready to call a fake Norton. So to get that pop-up, I'm going to go here, and then I also plan to show you more details on my ScamBait virtual machine today. I've had some people pop in with some questions on how to run it properly, so I don't mind doing that. Come on, paste. Okay, let me try copying it again. Oh, it's doing it over there. I want it. Come on. Let me go to Google. See if it'll leave me alone. If I can type Google properly. Okay. I want to go to this site. There we go. Okay.
Important security message. Your computer has been locked up. Your IP address was used without your knowledge or consent to visit websites that contains identity theft virus.
This is a fake.
All right, if you
To
look for a
unlock
door,
the
you're going to see
computer,
a
please
thief
call
walk in the
support
door yet.
immediately.
Okay, so let me get my fake pop-ups closed. Come on, close. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to be calling this as Cousin Ray because these guys know me. and there's just no way that Mary can bust through. And here we go. Make sure I'm not ready. Let me do a sound check. Testing. Yep, voice is heard. I use VoIP.ms. Really cheap and reliable. Also telnix.com for international members. Okay, so here we go. Let me get my YouTube chat up so I can make sure I'm doing everything. It was me. Joshy, you're the one who called me? I'm not, it's not like I don't want to do tech support for somebody in Athens, Greece. I work a full-time job already, and I do also do a almost full-time YouTube channel. So that's all it is. It's okay, Joshy. I'm not saying I don't like you or don't want to do business with you. It's just the fact that I really need to take that web page down. I'm not going to be open for services. So again, no offense to you, please. He probably didn't. I kind of sounded rude, and I apologize, but I've been getting scammers calling that number, and it's getting annoying. So I got to take action. So it's not anything against you, Joshy. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Hi, Sam. I've got a message on my screen that's playing this loud noise. I had to turn the sound off. It says that my Norton is going to expire in 30 days.
Okay, and could you please tell me what were you trying to do in the computer when you got this message?
I was trying to watch a free movie at 123movies.com.
Okay, and all of a sudden you got that message.
Well, I had the movie up and running, and then I paused it to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, the movie wasn't running, and I saw this message.
Okay, I think there is a security breach in your computer. You must have actually gone ahead and clicked onto some kind of link, which was a corrupted one, and that's one of the reasons you got that message over there. Okay?
Okay. So
in order to go ahead and help you out with the problem, I need to connect your computer to our customer service. Once you are connected, then only I'll be able to check why you are having this problem. Okay?
Okay.
So you need to follow my instructions carefully.
Okay.
Now, if you go ahead and look at your keyboard, at the extreme left-hand side bottom corner of the keyboard, you will see there is a Windows logo, the Windows key.
In the bottom left-hand corner?
Yeah, at the extreme left-hand side bottom corner of the keyboard.
No, the extreme left-hand side bottom corner is my CTRL key.
Of the keyboard.
Yeah, on my keyboard.
Yes, there is a Windows key you will
on
see
the extreme. I'm looking at the extreme left-hand bottom side of my keyboard. It says CTRL.
Okay. Okay, just next to CTRL, you will see one of the key would be Windows logo, the Windows key with the 4 blocks on it.
Yeah, I do see the Windows key. It's the third key over.
Okay. Yes, what you need to do, you need to push the Windows key and the letter R together. Okay. The Windows key and the letter R is in room, together.
Okay, I did, and now it's asking me to type a command, like a folder or program.
Yes, over there you need to type in something which I'm going to read it out. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, type in there I as an indigo,
I as an indigo.
E as an Edward,
E as an Edward. I have
X as an X-ray,
X as an X-ray.
T as in Peter,
P as in Peter. I have IEXP.
L as in Lima,
L as in Lima.
O as in Oscar,
O as in Oscar.
R as in Romeo,
R as in Romeo.
E as in Edward,
E as in Edward.
then give a space,
Okay, space. I put a space.
www dot
www dot
support, SUPPORT, support,
support.
then give a dot,
Okay, dot.
M as in Mary, E as in Edward.
M as in Mary, E as in Edward.
Now you need to read me out from the beginning what you have typed in there.
I have IEXP, LORE, I explore, and then space www.
It is IEXP.
That's what I said.
It is IEXP.
Okay,
Right?
I have I as in I as in Indiana, E as in Echo, X as in X-ray, P as in Peter, L as in London, O as in Orange, R as in Romeo, E as in Echo, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then I have space, www.support.me.
Then give a space.
Yeah, I have space, and then
Yeah, correct.
www.support.me.
Now press OK.
Press OK? Okay.
Now press OK.
Okay, it's opening up a website.
Now very soon you will see a support connection page will be up in front of your screen.
Yes. What is this
It
exactly?
says enter your 6-digit code, right?
What is this?
With the help, okay, with the help of this website, we'll be connecting your computer to our customer service. Then only we can go ahead and run a check why you are having this problem.
Okay.
Thank you for dialing support. This is how may I help you?
Okay, it says
So you need
support
to go ahead
connection.
and type
Wants
in
to
the
do-
number which is,
Yeah, it wants a 6-digit
I'm going to give you the
code.
support connection.
Okay, now it's asking me if I want to run or save support dash log me
Yeah,
and
click on run.
rescue 2.34 MB from secure.logmeandrescue.com.
Yes,
Why
you need
did-
to,
Well,
you need to
wait a
click on
minute.
run. Have you clicked on run?
Well, it says at the bottom this type of file could harm your computer. Are you sure? I mean, why would it tell me it could harm my computer?
No, this is just a general notification from Internet Explorer. It is an executable file, so that is the reason it gives you just a general notification. You need to click on run.
It doesn't seem very general. It's pretty explicit. It doesn't have an exclamation point, so it's probably
So
okay.
whatever file, okay, whatever website you want to go to and whatever file if you download that in your Internet Explorer, it will give you the same notification that this type of file may harm your computer. Okay, because it is an executable file. That is the reason it gives you the same message if you download anything in your computer through Internet Explorer. And if you go ahead and download this through your Google Chrome, it won't give you same message. It gives you the same message in Internet Explorer.
Okay. Well, it's asking me if I want to run or save it. Which one should I do? Should I save it or run
You
it?
need to click on Run.
Okay.
You need to click on Run.
It says the publisher of support-logme and rescue exe couldn't be verified. Are you sure you want to run the program?
Yes, you need to click on Run.
Why can't it be verified?
So it is actually giving you in this Internet Explorer, I told you that, okay?
Yeah, but it says it can't be verified. So click on run. Okay.
Yes, you need to click on Run.
Okay. Now it says connecting.
Now very soon you will get an option which says OK and cancel. You need to click on OK.
Well, it says user account control is enabled on this PC. Please click
Yes,
OK
you need to click on OK.
rescue to elevate your session. What's user account control? I didn't know I had that.
Listen to me! Listen to me! Listen!
What's a
So
user
it is actually going ahead and giving you an option. Its user account control is, it is actually giving you an option from your computer, okay?
Yeah, well, the options are OK or cancel, but I just don't understand what user account control is. I'm just going to let him connect. He hung up on me.
Thank you for calling support.
He's working by himself.
Look at the top of his head!
Hi, I was working with Sam. He was having me download a program to help me out with a message I have on my screen, and the phone call dropped.
All right, just give me a second, all right?
Okay, yeah, it
Please
says
hold on.
waiting. It says waiting for technician right now. Hello?
Give me a few minutes, all right?
Okay.
I'll transfer the call to Sam.
Oh, thank you. I don't know why it said it wasn't verified. It was weird. It's running now. Oh, I think something went wrong with his phone. Hello? I gotta turn off my avatar so I can type. One thing about my avatar, the flashing avatars, it makes it difficult to type because it takes focus off of my keyboard. I'm explaining to that person in Discord. I'd be willing to help them out, but I get over 20 calls on that number. Hello, I'm gonna call them back. Maybe I'll get Sam. Hi, Chris. I was trying to hold for Sam. Since Sam ain't gonna help, could you help me?
No, sir. Sam is not available right now.
Okay, can you help me? I got a message on
No,
my
sir, I
screen. I was trying to watch a movie. It's making this sound.
The computer lock is
It
aimed
says
to
the
stop
computer
illegal
lock
activity.
is aimed to
Please
stop
call our
illegal
support.
activity. I had to turn the sound off. I'm worried that there's something wrong.
May I have your name, sir?
My name is Raymond.
And may I have your phone number?
Yeah, my phone number is 775-391-0693.
All right, sir. You can carry your computer to a local technician. They will go ahead and help you to get it fixed.
No, I can't do that. There's a lockdown. My state literally issued a yellow alert 2 days ago. The only places I can go.
You can go
It
to
says
a local technician after.
what I don't understand, Sam. Listen, it says the call Norton Security Helpline toll free. That's what this is, isn't it? Okay, they're gonna get botted. They know me. That's the problem, guys. So I put it on a 12-second delay. I have to keep the volume low because it's got a copyrighted hold music. I don't think the volume's loud enough to trigger the YouTube copyright. That's why I have them so low. I told you today was going to be a weird day. Okay, so they know this ID, so I'm going to send bot number 12. If I can find my bot. There you are, buddy. So I'm going to send number 12 over. The reason why I'm doing them out of order is I use the caller IDs of bots 1 through 10. Okay, he just answered. There's like 2 guys working. Let me get my... Yeah, I know. Fortunately, I'll have some big ScamBait. I'll have some big ScamBait marathons this coming week. Okay, we'll let this run while I try to find another number. Anyways, to let you know, I'm talking to that guy from Greece. I told him I'm willing to help him out. I can't, like I said, let me show you my webpage. Actually, I better not. I have a webpage with my home phone on it. It's not really my home phone anymore. And I get scammers all the time calling me for support. I mean, I'm talking 20 times a day. I mean, it's not bad. So, I'm willing to filter that and help 8Ball out. His name's 8Ball. He seems like a really nice person. Let me reset my timer since I'm not talking to him. Yeah, again, I don't mean any offense. Oh, someone's offering me a a long-term 3D modeling proposal, and I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, they're not really active. They're not doing anything. The call does not exist. Did they disconnect their number over little old me? Let's find out. Okay, that doesn't mean it's disconnected just yet. Oh, where's my phone? Oh, here it is. Nope. Oh, it's behind this. I'm testing to see if they're down.
There was an error connecting your call. Error route does not exist.
Okay, one more verification and then I can celebrate.
There was an error connecting your call. Error route does not exist.
Okay, well, this is what I do when I take down a number. It was only a few bots. I gotta kill the bot. Hold on. Clear. Okay. Okay, so they're down.
Alright! I discouraged them from being open.
Okay.
Okay, back to what I was doing. Okay. I actually saw a robocall this morning for Amazon, but when I called the number, it was a private residence. So some lone scammer ran a robocall, took whatever few jobs they got, and then stopped taking the calls. I see, when they run robocalls, they might actually use a legitimate caller ID. And what the scammer is hoping to do is that the victim will pick up the phone and then press 1. They don't expect them to get it off of an answering machine and dial them back, because when you dial them back, you're going to get the person who's really behind that caller ID, and that's what happened in this case. Okay, so that 8-ball really does need help, so I'm going to offer to help them. Okay, so I guess we're at a point where I'm going to show you my ScamBait VM. And hold on.
Back to, now I'm Cousin Ray, so I'm not Uncle Danning you. Uncle Danning you. Okay, so let me bring my other virtual machine into view. I'm going to post a link in my Discord, just or in my Twitch and Twitter. This is a link that you can use. Why isn't that posting? Let me do this. Oh, it's too long, maybe? Okay, that link that I just sent will let you download my ScamBait virtual machine. About a month ago, yeah, it's been about a month, I decided to extend my ScamBait VM and tools to everybody so that they can take part in scambaiting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to resume this. This is the ScamBait virtual machine. Let me take the pumpkins off the screen. I just want to show you some things that you need to know if you download it. So I'm going to tell it to restart. Thank you, Egg in a Sack. Just for everybody on YouTube to know, I have a new moderator on my Twitch stream. Their name is Egg in a Sack. I made them a mod the other day, and they just barbed, and I'll explain that to you. They just barbed a scammer, or maybe I'll say whenever Egg in a Sack mods time somebody out, they egged them. So you just egged them, egg in a sack. Good job. I have a YouTube member named Little Rhubarb, and when he times somebody out, I say they got barbed. So Little Rhubarb barbs them, and egg in a sack eggs them. Okay, so this is my ScamBait virtual machine. Just little things to notice about it. If you go in, it has to run in VMware Workstation. I've tried making it on Oracle VirtualBox, but Oracle VirtualBox really performs slow unless you use the Oracle tools. And I could tell you right now, you install virtual tools like Oracle Box tools or VMware tools, you are going to be spotted by a scammer within seconds. There are videos on YouTube on how to disguise VMware tools, but they do not do enough. So what I do instead is I have a very fast host machine, so I can run virtual machines on VMware Workstation at a pretty good speed. So I've run my virtual machine without VMware tools. Yeah, YouTube, my YouTube gets lots of ads. Okay, so that's that in a nutshell. So under the VM settings, I just want to show you some critical things that are part of it. You want to make sure your network adapter is using NAT. You don't want your virtual machine running on the same subnet as your host machine. And then on your host computer, make sure you're not sharing anything. So open up File Explorer on your host computer, go to this PT and type Manage, and look for shared folders. Okay. It's okay to have $, IPC, E string, and so forth. If it's got a $, you're okay. But if I go out and I share like my temp folder to use on another computer, watch what happens. I'm going to go to Sharing, Advanced. I'm going to share this folder as temp. Okay, so now when I go back to shares, see how it's got temp shared? I'm not saying that you can't do that, but all they have to do is somehow guess what your host machine is, type it. I'll do 127.0.0.1, and you'll see the temp folder, and they'd be able to get to it. Through VMware, it's very unlikely they will. So I think just to be on the safe side, go into File Explorer and make sure you're not sharing any drive letters. Okay? And the way you do that, go into Explorer, click the yellow icon, right-click this PC, go to Manage, and then click Shared Folders. Double-click Shares. Oh my gosh, I'm sharing ctemp. Again, C $, D, and E, those are called administrative shares. You don't have to worry about those. So to get that, I can right-click it and tell it to stop sharing. Are you sure you want to stop sharing? I'll say yes. So just make sure that you're not sharing anything. That's just for your protection. Okay, other things about the virtual machine. I gave it 4 gigs of RAM and a 512 gigabyte solid-state drive. I did that because that's going to be the typical minimum config of a laptop today. But you can change it. You can add more RAM. Don't go down to 2 gig. You're gonna pay for that in performance. Again, don't run VMware tools. You do that, it'll run a lot faster, but all the scammer has to do is run VM check inside of some remote programs, and they'll see that you're running a virtual machine. So it's an unfortunate thing that we have to do. Outside of that, members of my YouTube channel are soon going to start seeing ongoing live streams of me doing tutorials on how to scam bait. And some of them are going to be discovery on my part. See this display here? at some point in the future, I'm going to add secondary displays to my virtual machine that will be a replica of my first display so that I could then watch as a refund scammer blinks my screen. It typically won't blink the secondary screen. So that's a technique that Jim Browning uses that I'm going to take on. But basically the only thing in this settings option you need to be worried about is the network address translation. The other one is in processors. If you go down to processors, when the machine is not running, you can select or deselect virtualize. You want to make sure you're virtualizing. I'll explain that in a minute. But when you download and run my virtual machine, all these options are preset. It's using NAT, and the processors are using virtualize Intel as well as virtualize CPU. It doesn't matter if you have Intel or AMD, it should work. Okay, so on the virtual machine, you need to log into it, and the password is 3/8. And right off the bat, you're going to get bugged by CCleaner. The reason why I use CCleaner, in the run prompt, it has a history. See how it has this history? You don't want that to be populated, because if a scammer connects to your machine and sees CMD, some of them will say, why did you run CMD? How did you know how to do that? That's why you'll see me run CCleaner every now and then. Okay, this is the free version, and at the time that I installed it, it was the latest, but just get used to telling it no, don't download the update. Under custom clean, you want to take time to review what I put into the virtual machine. I'm having it get rid of old prefetch data. You might want to have it do the menu order cache. You might want to do tray notifications. Don't do the window size. You know, those are things that you can do. Under applications, note that I do not check internet history under Chrome. I don't think they show IE here. Let me run IE. And then I'm going to rerun Internet Explorer, CC Cleaner. You don't want it to clean your history out if you're using a fake history generator. Yeah, see how I have, now that I have Internet Explorer open, it has a setting in CCleaner for those. And note that I clear everything except internet history. That's real important. Okay, but remember that run command, you don't want history. So run CCleaner under the custom clean and watch what happens. Now when I go to run, it's empty. That's what you want. Okay, the other thing that's important that you need to understand, go into File Explorer and then right-click this PC and go to Properties. You're going to see that the virtual machine has a pass-through of your host machine's CPU. I have not found anywhere in Windows, there might be a registry setting where you can alter this, but there are areas where you can't, which is why I ran, I'll explain that when I get to it. What it boils down to, it's going to inherit your CPU. That's really important that you know that, because you're going to have to edit some files. The other thing that's important, under Task Manager, if they go to Performance, the settings I have in the virtual machine will say Virtualization Enabled. Okay. Remember that virtualization that I told you about here under Settings? If you do not have these set, these here, I can't say for certain, but it might say Virtual Machine Yes. It might not, but just keep that in mind. That's where I think these are tied in. Understand, I don't know 100% of this. I mean, it does, it's always a work in progress. I might say one day in my community, a new version of my ScamBait virtual machine is available. But if you don't want to download it, you can read this document to get the changelog. So you can download what's made different, like a new fake notepad, or download a new ScamPop or whatever. I don't want people to have to re-download the virtual machine all the time. I know, Anonymous, but I've seen it come back all by itself. That's the only problem. And then you have the other problem. Well, don't let me skip ahead. I'll show you exactly why I leave it. To run the utilities, you have to go into File Explorer, to see Windows, System 32, and you have to find Command. I just type CMD, and you have to run it as administrator. Yeah, it'll come back in the middle of a session, Anonymous. I've seen it do that. I don't know how, but I've seen it come back in the middle of a login session. But that's not the reason I don't change it. Okay, I want you to notice something else. Whenever you do this, I always like to open up a secondary command prompt, run it as administrator. And the reason is I like to still maintain an admin command prompt after I launch the tools. To launch the tools, you just type run. Okay, after you type run, you'll see it's a frozen command prompt. If I hit Control-Alt-W, you'll hear it say wasted. Let me turn the volume up. If I hit Control-Alt-B, so you're going to want to close this process. It doesn't end the tools. The tools are still there. Okay. The reason why I like to leave a command prompt is I like to test out the other tools without changing this history here. So I'm going to show you a trick for that. Okay, this is the reason why there's a reason why I created a fake DX diag. The fake DX diag, there's no registry entry I could find to change this data here. Okay. But if you need to change this on my ScamBait VM page, I have a list of all the CSV files that you need to change, and these are the ones that are important. Win services, DX diag can be changed by this text file. DX diag uses a JPEG file to fake out the sound and input. I didn't want to sit there and redo this in Auto IT. It's got some controls that are hard to emulate, so you can't click them because this is actually a JPEG. The sound is the same way. I used a picture. Okay, so, but this over here, the system, according to ScamBait VM, it's dxdiag.txt. So if I want to edit that, what I would do, I can't run fake notepad. If I type notepad, it opens fake notepad. And you can't open files with that. So what you're going to want to do is run scamconfig and uncheck fake notepad. Let me turn that off. Well, let's just wait for that. You're going to turn off fake notepad, apply it. Okay, and then when you run notepad, regular notepad will open. Okay. The next thing you want to do is CD over to drivers, CD backslash drivers. There's no files in there, so you're going to want to show them. I think I have show, or I don't remember that anymore. Let me find out. I wasn't prepared to do a training today, so ASH. So there's my files. Let me see if I have a show.bat. No, I don't. Okay, so the command is this. I'll type it out. cd/drivers attrib star.star minus r minus a minus s minus h. The reason why I had to show those files is so I can edit them. So I'm going to type notepad dxdiag.txt, and I'm going to change, see where it says placeholder? Leave placeholder alone, but I can change this to an i5 600K, save it, and then when I run dxdiag, now it's an i5 600K. See how it did that? You might want to change the megahertz to match. Well, I rewrote dxdiag. That's what I'm doing. I could have blocked dxdiag. I've done that before. I've said it requires an administrator. I've tried eliminating it. But I've had scammers say, that's not normal. You're a pranker, and they disconnect. I built these tools going as far back as 3.5 years ago, and I would only build the tool when I came across a need to create the tool. I just kept getting dxdiag. So the first thing I did was I deleted dxdiag, and then I had a scammer say, what's wrong with your computer? You're missing dxdiag. And so then they ran I forgot the name of that command to re-download all the Windows configurations. One thing I want you to notice, right now everything's visible. If I type scamconfig and then reapply, they're all hidden again. See how they're hidden? So I'm going to try to edit that file, notepad dxdiag text. See, it won't let me do it. Oh, I got fake notepad. Hold on. I want to run scamconfig. I'm going to put back the regular notepad. Now I'm going to type notepad dxdiag.txt. Yeah, you don't have to unhide them. So disregard. Yeah, SFC scan now is what it's called. Disregard attrib minus rash. You don't have to do that. You don't have to show the files. You can probably just save it. So I'm going to change this back to an i9 and 9900K. Oh, it won't do it because it's read only. You're going to have to attrib it after all. I feel like a dummy. So you might need to do that attrib. Part of attrib minus rs, the minus r. So if I do minus r, it said not resetting. Yeah, you're going to have to do attrib minus rash and then notepad dxdiag.text. Change it to what you want. You don't have to run a trib again because that scamconfig does that for you. Okay, now when I run dxdiag, it should show a 9900K. And it does, see? 9900K. Now right now, as you can see, the files are visible, but if I run scamconfig and turn fake notepad back on, now the files are hidden. So you don't have to re-hide them. Okay, so my next utility is msconfig, or msinfo32. I muted myself on accident. Yeah, but if they see that in your startup anonymous, they'll think you're a pranker. Trust me, I've done that before. Yeah, no, this stream will be, you'll be able to view this stream later. I don't delete my live streams, so you'll be able to view this later. Okay, these values here under MS Info 32 actually do get matched to your host name, but my MS Info 32 is a fake one. Okay, so right now I'm using fake MS Info 32. So if I type scam config and use the real MS Info 32, watch what happens. It still says the Core i9 9900, okay? Because it's copying it from my host machine. There's a setting in that VMX file of the virtual machine, which you don't have to worry about, which does this. But the real MS config, or MS Info 32, doesn't, it'll have the yes, no, some drivers aren't loaded. That's a scammer trick. They'll go into MS Info 32 and tell you that all these drivers are not loaded, and it's because hackers have hacked your machine. That's why I created the fake MS Info 32. So I'm going to re-enable. By the way, when you run scam config, by default, it re-enables everything. I'm going to apply it. And now when they run MS Info 32, it's got this is going to be correct, but when they go to system drivers, they're all loaded and they're all running, which is impossible. But they won't have anything to tell you. They'll say, okay, well, yeah, your machine is in good shape, despite the fact that it's running an Intel and AMD CPU. The other thing that's important here is the startup. It'll say CCleaner, it's faking it. And then Windows error reporting is always empty. However, you can actually change those items if you want, and they're going to be inside of stuff like keyboard CSV, video codecs, audio codecs. The big ones are these. Okay, another utility that you need to change, system info. System info will put out your CPU family here. The stuff that I put in here, I tried to make very generic though. Intel 64 family 6 model 142. I don't think they're going to pick any of that up, but it does have the HP BIOS. You can change that info inside of systeminfo.txt. And then under MS config, you can also change the status of these services. If you want them to not be running, you can do that. I wouldn't encourage you to do that though. Let me see if there's a, but you might want to look at this Win Startup CSV, okay, and the Win Tools, because on my machine, I do have something misleading that I should probably change. Under Startup, I'm running Sophos Auto Update. I don't have Sophos on this virtual machine. So if I want to change that, I got to edit the Win Startup CSV. So I'm going to try to do that. And this might be where we all learn something. So I got to go back to drivers, attrib, -R, -A, -S, -H. If I spell it right. I should do this because I made a typo.
www.
No, not that one. I meant this one.
Oh no. Typer's busted again.
Okay, so I'm going to edit when I'm going to Notepad. I gotta make Notepad available. So scam config. I'm going to enable Notepad. I'm going to type Notepad Win Startup CSV. Okay, so this is where it gets tricky. This is a CSV file. So I want to eliminate the entire line. So spread it out so you can see the whole file and eliminate that whole line. But keep in mind, if you want to make a new line, you have to supply the comma separated values. If you don't, it's going to crash. Make sure there's no characters leading it, and then save it. Why did it do that? File. I attribute. Oh, you know what it is. Okay, this is really important. With CSV files, you're going to have to change this to all files and go back to C drivers. That's a shortcoming of Notepad. And then save when startup.csv. It'll ask you if you want to replace it. It's not read-only. Try that again. Okay, I must have did a typo. No, I didn't. Okay. Okay, so if I type out when startup CSV, it now no longer has Sophos. So if I type msconfig, that Sophos is no longer in my Win startup. Now, I have seen them go there very rarely, and your idea about that text file, Anonymous, they will see your text file in startup if you put it there. That's why it's dangerous to put stuff in startup. That'll give them a clue. Anyways, that's that in a nutshell. Now, keep in mind, see, these are visible files. If I run scamconfig and then reapply everything, now everything's hidden. Hiding those really isn't that important, I found, because when they run AnyDesk, they can see those files. But, you know, that's the way it works. Okay, so just going on further, the virtual machine comes with these shortcuts: Control-Alt-W, wasted, busted. If you hit Control-Alt-L, it locks the keyboard so that the scammer can't type. Really frustrates them. To unlock it, you have to type. It's kind of hard to do, so do it slowly. You have to activate the window and softly type UNLOCK, and now to type. Yeah, Task Manager will also show the CPU. Okay, now this is what, now I understand. The reason why I don't use that registry entry, Anonymous, is I have yet to find a way to change what the Task Manager says about the CPU. Until we figure that out, your idea is a good idea, but they could see the Task Manager CPU and wonder, why is your CPU in Task Manager a Core i9, but when we run over here, it says you're using a Core i5. Something's fishy. So, to date, I've had no choice but to give the virtual machine identical CPU to what I'm using. The things that I'm doing that are different, when they run MSInfo32, I'm claiming I have a HP EliteBook G4, but it has a Core i9 processor. It doesn't work that way. An HP EliteBook G4 has an i5 in it. So I've yet to have a scammer bring that up, but you know, it is what it is. The reason why I made these files so you can edit them is so that you can tell that you have a Dell Optiplex or a Dell whatever. I wanted everyone to have that flexibility. Yeah, that's what I thought, Little Rhubarb. I have plans on creating a fake Task Manager one day. I can only recreate the Windows 7 Task Manager. Auto IT does not have controls for the task manager. There's no way for me to copy these. I've done everything I could. I'll show you an example of how close I've gotten. If I go into float and task manager, I'll show you my fake task manager. Let me find Auto IT. Where are you? Oh, I gotta close that. That's gonna kill my... I had to close my live avatar. It locks up my Explorer. Okay, let me go back in. Now I'm gonna go over to Task Manager and run Task Manager. Is my Explorer still crashed? Oh, hold on, I still have... Okay, I'll have to do it the other way. Run Auto IT. Let me go into float. When I run my my streaming automated utilities, the one program that's running causes my Explorer to crash constantly. It's a problem with Auto IT. It isn't with my computer. It happens on any system I've tried it on. Okay, so this is what my task manager looks like. I've gotten close, but it's not easy. So this is my task manager. This is designed after the Windows 7 task manager. So you can see it has the percentages moving. So I'll be making this in the future. It's a lot of work. Yeah, you're right, HK Elite. The scammers to date have never questioned me on having an Elite Book G4 with an i9. If anything, they've congratulated on me, saying that they were impressed that I had an i9 9900K. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is this webcam. The webcam, I don't know why it didn't open. Oh, okay, webcam. Right now the webcam shows an empty chair. Okay, and the reason is in the Windows directory, there's a file called camera text. So if I got a scam config, I'm going to use the regular notepad so we can see it. On notepad, camera.txt. It says to do nobody, but if I tell it to do mail, when they run the camera, it's going to show the video I created of me for 5 minutes. Okay. If you change it to female, it's going to show the female version of me. If I change it to fuzzy, it'll show a piece of tape over the camera. So what I would do if I were you, if you don't want to have to change it, just basically you're going to want to create different snapshots of your virtual machine. If you want to use a voice changer
to play a Mary Sue Huckers,
you're gonna want to create a snapshot that contains this text file with female in it. Also, after 5 minutes, the webcam will produce an error saying that the video hasn't changed, no motion detected, and will force them to close it. That'll help alleviate them saying, while you were away, like for example, I'm going to show you how you can get to that text file to change it while you're scam baiting. I'm going to, on my host machine, I'm going to go to run, and I'm going to type / mpc home, and then hit enter. And you'll see that its C drive is shared, and I can go to Windows, for example, and get the window set aside. And I can edit that text file if my Explorer wasn't going to freeze up. That's my problem. Let me kill some utilities so I can do this. I need to kill stopwatch. I need sound. Audio. Okay, let me see if I can do it now. I can't edit files because I have a utility running that's screwing around with my Explorer. Hold on, just bear with me. I gotta find out which one it is. Let me kill a wasteometer. In task. I don't think it's XSplit doing it. I believe it's the and those are my let me try something. Yeah, see how when I hit mute it's no longer producing the magenta square? Let me see if this thing will let me edit that file now. So if I want to go to the C drive.
Thank you for calling CC Communications Time and Temperature Line.
Today is Saturday.
I accidentally dialed my test dialer. Okay, so I'm going to go to WMPC or MPC Home. PC Home. C Windows. You'll be able to do it on yours without locking up, but you can edit that text file and change it while you're scam baiting from male or female to nobody and make it look like you actually left when you went to Walmart. That's what I was trying to show you. I can't do anything with Notepad because the stupid let me try it this way. I'm gonna run Notepad. I'm gonna run Notepad. Okay, then I'm gonna open. I'm gonna go / MPC home. Yeah, it's not gonna let me browse. No, it's not the MPC. It's yeah, MPC home. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So I can go to there, and then I can go to that camera.txt. Okay, watch what happens. I'm trying to get my read stream up, that way I don't miss the chat. Okay, what I have on my host machine, I have that camera.txt in. I'm going to change it. I'm going to change the file to female. I'm going to save it, if it'll let me. Yeah, camera.txt. Save. Yes. Oh, it's not letting me do it. You'll have to play around with permissions to get it to work. I thought I was going to do it. The other way to do it, I know this is crazy, but I've actually used FileZilla Portable to change it. I'll come up with a way to make it easier for you to change it. HK, the idea is to change it through the network instead of on the virtual machine. You can use any disk to do it. I'll have to come up with an easier way to do it. On my other virtual machine, I'll show you how I do it. So on this ScamBait machine, watch what happens. Because I got tired of... I'm going to reset. I'm going to go into Cousin Ray. I'll show you how I set it up. I have FileZilla server, or it's not file server Zilla or whatever. I have a FTP server running on my current virtual machine. So what I do, so when they run webcam, it's gonna show fuzzy right now. Okay, but if I open up FileZilla, I can connect to the FTP server. I can go into users. I have mine in a different area, documents. And if I drop, gotta find out where I put that. I just need a nobody.txt. Let me go to desktop. Why did that run with? Oh, you know, I changed it the other day. That's why. I'm showing you stuff that I probably let me go back to. I got a lot of crap on here. Let me find the path for it. Hold on. Float. Webcam. I gotta copy the video file over first to show you. I don't use FileZilla server. I'm using a different kind of server. I'll show you what it is. But I gotta go over to C, Windows. Come on, Windows. Go. And then I gotta copy the mail MP4 back over and replace it. Okay, so this is what it would be like if I, let me make a nobody.txt. I can't even make a text file. Jeez. Forget it. I just lost my Explorer again. So what I do is I just use FileZilla server to trick it. When they run the webcam, they'll see Ray. And then I need this. I don't know if I have a nobody text file. Let me go into command, notepad. So I do the same thing. I put nobody file, and I'm going to save this to my, I'm going to put it in ctemp because I'm going to call it nobody. Okay, I already had it there. Okay, so here I am with my, I'm doing a, I'm getting ready to go on a Walmart trip, okay? Whenever they open the webcam, I always say, don't watch my webcam, that's embarrassing. But they open it again, and I say, dude, stop it. And when I'm ready, I take my FileZilla server, which it's closed for some reason, and I make sure I have my directory ready. I connect to my virtual machine, and then I copy the file over to the directory that I need to go to, and I put nobody like in there, or I change the contents of that text file to say nobody, and then when they run the webcam when I'm gone, they'll get an empty chair. So they won't see you changing the text file. Again, HK, what I'm doing on my host machine, I'm running FileZilla to change the contents of the file. They cannot see that. I'm not flustered. It's kind of warm in here. Okay, so the FTP server that I'm running, I gotta find it. I forgot what it was. Let me if I seem flustered, that means I gotta turn on a fan because it's kind of warm. Oh, I can't. Oh, I typed tree. That was stupid. Hold on. I have DIR running. I can't run it. Let's just go look for it. It's a free FTP server. It runs as a service. What's it called? FT. If I don't find it here, what was that called? I don't see it. I'll have to find it and then I'll create a video on how to make that work. It's probably above the scope of what I can show you here. But basically what it is it's an FTP server that's running on a in the background. We might be able to see the executable in Task Manager. What was the name of that FTP server? I did it on the fly a couple of weeks ago. It's actually a service. Let me see if it's on there. Yeah, it's called Slim FTPD. It's a really useful utility. Peter, it doesn't matter. They fall for it all the time. But that's also why I gave you guys the ability to create your own video. It's called Slim FTPD. I'll do a tutorial on it. Thanks, Donnie. Yeah, the camera, I know the camera is not at the right angle, but I have yet to have a scammer really care about that. They really have never said anything. But yeah, I'm aware of that. Otherwise, I might redo mine one day to literally show a true webcam angle. There's no scams running right now, Donnie. That's the problem. I mean, I can look again, but I doubt there are going to be any. So anyways, do you guys have any questions about the ScamBait VM that I didn't cover? I'm ready to answer them. The webcam's a bit tricky. Just remember you have a text file in Windows called camera.txt, and in that file, yeah, I'm not calling an airline scammer. I'm sorry. If you change the contents of camera.txt to fuzzy, male, female, or nobody, it'll change which video that's loaded by the camera. Yeah, I want to do a jump. I don't know why that keeps... Okay, I'm back in holding. You can hear my voice, but it said that I was muted. Yeah, I wanted to do a jump scare of The Exorcist after 5 seconds. I think that would be pretty cool. You know, have the Linda Blair with all her green pea soup. No, little rhubarb. It's. You want to use something. You want to use something that's very, very light, and that Slim FTP just runs a simple. It's a simple FTP service. It doesn't have any. It's very simple. If I, here our Slim Star. Oh, I don't have it on this machine, duh. I'll show you how it works. It's pretty basic. It's slim, and it's all it does. If I go to drivers, and I'll type it out. So let's go. I got my ScamBait utility. I'm going to reboot my virtual machine so I can run it without the ScamBait utilities. Yeah, that 8-ball, that's why That's why I have my MSInfo 32 repeat what the task manager says about my processor. Until I can change what the task manager says or come up with a fake task manager, all my utilities are going to say that I have the same processor as my host machine. Okay, now I can run that Slim FTP. I'm going to enable search so I can get to the CMD faster. Okay, so let me show you how Slim FTP works. Okay, so in drivers, DR Slim star, I have Slim FTP, and then you have this thing called slimftp.conf. So if you type, let me get a regular notepad so I can, I don't have scam config in there. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Scam config. Oh, it's not. I don't have. Oh, I don't use scam config in here. I gotta figure out. Okay, I'm gonna use AnyDesk. Hold on. Accept and install. Or actually, you know what? I'll use, forget that. I'm going to use my FTP. Let me show you the contents. I'm going to show you the contents of the slimftp.conf. So I'm going to connect to my virtual machine. I'm going to go to drivers, and we're going to grab slimftp.conf. And I put it over into temp. And then I can't edit. I can run Notepad. Let me run Notepad. And I'm going to open up that config file. I thought I had it over there. Hold on. Oh, it's a comp file. That's why. So this is the Slim FTP comp file. You just have to make sure you turn on all the options. And then what I do is I share the root of C with the password, because you don't want to not have a password. And I just tell it to share the root of C. And to make it automatically start, I don't see the config file. I'll do a tutorial directly for this at some point. There's a configuration utility that you can run that will tell it to start up as a service. So let me look up Slim FTP again real quick. So this is it here. It's a FTP server, and there's a configuration file that will turn it into a service. That's how I use it on my current virtual machine. The FTP runs as a service, and what that allows me to do is it allows me to literally see every single file on the virtual machine. And I can edit and change text files in the background. So, okay, I pretty much beat up the FTPD to death. I'm done. So, if you have any questions, now's the time to ask. Ask me something about except Slim FTPD. And I'm going to see if I can find a scammer while you ask me questions. If I see someone ask me a Slim FTP question, I'm going to freak. Okay. I really don't think I'm going to find any pop-ups. But back to what I was talking about, I am going to start doing educational live streams for my YouTube members that will have more info on how to do what I've been able to do with my ScamBait VM. Oh yeah, little rhubarb. I'm gonna barb you, dude. I just got you barbed. I just barbed little rhubarb. Okay. Diwali is like a 3-day. I think it goes out through the weekend. How long is Diwali? Yeah, Diwali's 5 days. It's really cool though. It's some of the neatest stuff. Okay, so let's, how long Diwali 2020? 15th day. It's a 5-day event. In 2020, it's November 14th. So from November 14th through, I guess, the 19th. Wow. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, Diwali is one of India's was one of their neatest. If you go to images, you know it's got to be cool. Look at that. Fireworks. They're laying lights out there. So there's a side to India that's gorgeous, and this is one of them. Certified! You've been barbed!
You've been barbed!
They actually fill balloons with hydrogen? I've been wanting to do that since I was 22. I thought of that idea. There's in Fallon, Nevada, where I grew up. You like my voice changer, 8-Ball? In Fallon, Nevada, where I grew up, there is actually a reservoir in Schurz, Nevada that allows you to do fireworks. And so every 4th of July, my friends and I would go out to Schurz Reservoir and buy a buttload of fireworks from the Indian colony. And it was just a blast. Weber Reservoirs are really, it was just unusual. In Nevada, you can do fireworks at Weber Reservoir, at least back when I did it. It's a small reservoir, it's not that big. But anyways, back then I wanted to get some hydrogen gas and blow up some hydrogen balloons. Well, yeah, helium, every 5 years they tell you that there's a helium shortage. And then they find more helium. And America has a helium reserve in the middle of the country. They actually pumped granite full of helium. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm running a pop-up finder to see if we can find anything. Let me look at Discord. Yeah, they're having fun with their own festivities. There's no pop-ups. So I don't think that's going to happen. Let me check my Google searches real quick. Yeah, I can't find any numbers. So India's partying it up. And I don't blame them. Look how beautiful it is. It's pretty cool. Okay, folks, I think I'm done. Like I said earlier, I do have planned streams for my members, which will go into greater detail and focus on how to run the ScamBait VM. I'm also going to be showing off how I use my live avatar to do the on-screen graphics. But I think we have done what we could today. No scam baiting, but we were able to learn a little bit more about the virtual machine. You bet, Norma. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll try again tomorrow too. I'm just because there's no scammers doesn't mean I won't pop in and at least show you stuff. I mean that's what I'm doing. I am still working on my Meet the Huckers. I'm going to be ramping up work on that. So you're gonna see my cartoon early next year. Okay, folks, I'm gonna take my lunch break and go get my new glasses. Well, let me show you what I got. I might as well. I bought an Oculus 2, but I can't use it yet because I need glasses. So I went and got an eye exam, and next week I'm gonna get special lenses for the Oculus 2, which will match my eye prescription. So I'll be able to use this bad boy in about a week. I'm amazed with the specs. It's got a high refresh rate. I bought the Oculus Quest 1, so all my software immediately works on it. So I'll be playing with that in about a week. I like the fact that I can get prescription lenses for it, because wearing glasses on a virtual reality headset is a drag. So I'll be playing around with that. I might do some gaming on Twitch when I get this running. We'll see. I might get I'm thinking of getting The Walking Dead, what's it called? Walking Dead Salvation or whatever, or maybe the Blair Witch program. Thanks, RAS. Okay, everybody. I'm out of here. I'm going to go get lunch and get my new glasses. Thanks for coming to my stream, and I'll see you tomorrow.